following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Girls Talk, Boys Talk, streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app. Now, your host, Brianna Aldridge.
Welcome into Girls Talk, Boys Talk, the final episode here in Oxnard. Also, the final Cowboys practice here in Oxnard. Brianna Aldridge, joined by Christy Skills, Nicole Hutchison, and ladies, this is the end. It's always like a little bit bittersweet, but for you guys have been here since the beginning. I only came at the end.
Bittersweet. Yeah, no. It's been a lot of fun. Gotten a chance to, get to know a lot of the guys, newer faces, new staff. Build relationships, of course. Christy can, relate probably you too, Bree. But, it's been a lot of fun this training camp. But it's time to go home, y'all. It's time to go home.
See, I'm pushing for Cowboy realignment to the NFC West, at least through October.
That's fair.
I love it out here.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's been a year and a half of our lives. Chris Beam, our producer, we've been here the full 20 years, plus Austin and Wichita Falls and San Antonio, and add up 20 years times 26 days, and I love it. So I'd rather stay another week, but okay.
I think everyone misses their bed. That's the biggest complaint. That hotel bed gets a little stiff. I'm sharing it with the 6-month-old, and he doesn't share, guys. He doesn't share at all. But, yep, this is the end. So we got kind of since last time I saw you guys, we got to hear from Von Miller. We got to see somewhat of a joint practice. So I guess we'll start from the joint practice. Yeah.
Round 1, round 2, round 3, or round 4?
You could call it what you want. I referenced it as a WWE SmackDown type of thing going on. Very interesting. We knew, it's joint practice. It can get chippy, but it's just like compared to what we saw with the Rams. So this was like a total something else. So I'll start with you, Christy.
Well, it's just stupid. Because that was going to be, you had 2 opportunities for great work for your starters in training camp and preseason, since they're not going to play in any preseason games, and fights and just the overall feistiness. It really did affect, it affected everything about practice, and that's why Brian Schottenheimer and the coaching staff were so upset. So, it's a shame. Is it more entertaining from a media standpoint and fans? And, it's great for social media and see stuff like that. But, I think it affected in a poor way the preparation for the starters.
Yeah, I agree with Christy. Because I forgot who I was talking to yesterday about this, but in LA, you were able to run 90 to 100 plays, get some productivity there, but then what was that, 2 days ago or whatever, you only ran maybe 19, 20. At least that's probably the amount that I counted. But, it sucks for your starters, but also guys that are still playing in the preseason, because you still have to prove yourself every single day out here in training camp. So it sucks in that aspect, but it also sucks in terms of, the penalties type of thing. We've been talking about penalties for years, and even Shotty hit it on the nail of, that type of bonehead stuff can get you hurt in a game. We've hit on that all the time. So it's got to get cleaned up. Again, they weren't the only ones that were initiating it. Saints players definitely didn't come to have a productive practice either. So it sucked on both ends.
Donovan Ezraku was the only player that, was taken, that was asked to leave practice because he threw a punch. But they could have had... Yeah, believe me, there are a half dozen guys that could have been. Yeah, and that includes Saints players as well.
I know Schottenheimer said, he can't catch everything, and they'll watch the tape. And then if you watch the tape on social, there's a lot. Yeah, I don't think Donovan has
a lot of instigating. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think I don't know if it's fair, but I think my standpoint from it all is. When I see Tyler Guy body slam someone, I'm like, okay, he's gonna get yelled at. But when you're seeing guys who are on the bubble and like Christy mentioned, need those reps, need these opportunities, I'm just kind of you hate to see it, because it's you're wasting what needs to. There's 3-4 other guys behind you that are in that bubble with you. So
and somebody could get hurt too.
Yeah. So fortunately, nobody got hurt from the fighting. From at least from I saw. I think I did see Hunter Lipke. Take off for practice. I didn't see the actual injury.
I saw him
early.
He left early. He was getting treated in the tent, but
illness.
Yeah, he was. He was. Yeah. Breakfast,
Gotcha.
and yeah.
Gotcha. That makes
was
sense.
recycled.
Well, there was some good actual football happening on the field. I know it was a little bit overshadowed by what was going on. I know personally I saw, at least towards, I would say the middle of practice, I migrated to the offense. Me and Nicole started with the defense, but we heard a lot of oohs and ahs on the other side, so we kind of migrated. And I saw some good work towards the end with some red zone stuff happening. But obviously I didn't stay for the whole time. Defensively in the beginning when we stayed, Nicole, there wasn't really too many, again, like I would say big plays, if you will. The run defense looked good, at least in the beginning part of practice. But I'll start with you again, Christy. Like,
I watched offense mainly.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
and so and Pickens just continues to dominate. I mean, he is
fun guy.
By far been
Most consistent.
the most consistent, most fun to watch, and it's just like on the field last year in the regular season games. I mean, if it's going his direction, he's gonna get it and get some yards afterwards, and he just continues to dominate. That was my biggest, it's sorry to be Captain Obvious, but that's what really stood out.
Yeah, I think for me, I'll start with the defensive side. You still have Reddy Stewart, who had a nice tip ball. I believe it was from Deron Bland into the hands of Reddy Stewart for the interception. Jalen Thompson had an interception in practice. Malachi Lawrence had a would-be sack. I thought that obviously the defensive line played well. Linebackers were playing well in terms of run defense. Now, they were getting tested in the past game. Caleb Downs had a nice test against Chris Olave. So you like to see that type of work, and he was winning, honestly, against everybody. So it was ups and downs for the pass defense. In terms of offense, I mentioned this yesterday. I mean, Malik Davis continues to just
that Davis
be
coming
consistent.
Up every conversation, every press
conference. I mean,
now.
and George Pickens, guys like that. But Malik Davis, like, we take him for granted. And he just continues to kind of keep his head down, do the work. Had a nice day at joint practice. Wasn't one of the ones who was, in the scuffles or anything. So I think that's kind of the things that stood out to me.
Yeah, and the line was certainly getting more movement, than compared to early in the Rams joint practice the previous week, and Malik took advantage of some of those creases.
Brent, since you brought up the O-line, that was something that Schottenheimer addressed after practice. He was talking about the swing tackles getting some movement, but Terrence Steele's a guy I kind of wanted to talk on specifically because we heard from Shotty. Yesterday we heard from Clayton Adams, who talked a little bit about it. Just your thoughts about what they're seeing from Terrence Steele and what they still need to see, I guess, from Terrence Steele, who's been in the system now how many years, Christy? 7?
And just been the stalwart, really, with playing, over 99% of the snaps, 99.9% over the past 3 years, and basically saying that they need more consistency from him, and which I found very interesting. And then I know we also want to talk about what they're doing with Drew Shelton and Nate Thomas in regards to swing tackle, but I don't know, say that it was a calling out of Steele. I don't know that it was really getting called out.
I think people just noticed it, and then it came up, and they were just pretty upfront.
Answering questions. They were answering questions.
Yeah, and I don't think it was like a disappointing statement either from Clayton. Like, I think it was really just like we just need more consistency from him. It's not knocking, Terrence Steele at all, but it's the truth, but to Christy's point, he has been the most reliable offensive lineman since obviously after his injury. But I mean, you talk about a guy who his run blocking has always been elite. It's the pass blocking over the years for me that I feel like hasn't been as consistent as I would like to have seen it. But I mean, I don't think it was maybe a knock at all from Clayton Adams at all for sure yesterday.
No. And then with Clayton Adams addressing how they're trying to work the swing tackle in terms of making sure that, Nate Thomas, but also the rookie Drew Shelton, who's your 4th round pick. Clayton Adams says that he prefers because they need time on each side. If they're going to be swing, they're going to have to work at both right tackle and left tackle rather than alternating day to day, or even sometimes, I mean, we've had staffs where they'll have guys rotate within series of practices, but he wants to do 1 week, 1 week, 1 week. And he also noted, and I thought this was important, that he's doing the same at the interior as well. So TJ Bass, who's been your primary backup at center, and we know that he's played guard. He had mainly been working when he was left guard, but this week he's been doing some right guard. So just because if he's going to be that extra interior guy on game day, he needs to be able to sub in at either one.
Can I ask something real fast? I'm sorry. How do y'all feel about that? Because I know we were talking about, and maybe it's a little different for Tyler Smith because, playing guard and left tackle, but do y'all like the fact that they're kind of forcing them to be so versatile and across the offensive line, or would you prefer them to just help or let a player grow and develop at that one position?
There's no choice. I think that everyone would agree that it would be best to be a master at one position before you have to go and do others. Jack of all trades, master of none. But the fact is, you only have 8 linemen that are going to be active on game day. So by necessity, you have to be able to play multiple positions. Now, the best description that I've ever had, and maybe this was because it was a little bit earlier in my career in talking with, really talking at training camp with offensive linemen and trying to get some of the nuance and stuff. And you've probably heard it as well, other people. It's not the only time the description has been used, but in terms of someone like a TJ Bass, right side, left side, or tackle even more, but it'd be like are you right-handed, Bree? Okay. Nicole,
I'm right-handed.
You're right-handed, so am I. When you brush your teeth, do you brush your teeth with your right hand or your left hand?
Right hand.
Right.
Okay.
Me, I'm thinking.
So now do it. This is the way the player described it to me, Stephen Peterman, all these years ago. I believe he was, a second-round pick of the Cowboys? He's like, now do everything with your left hand. Write everything with your left hand, brush your teeth with your left hand, do everything that you do like that. And so, a lot of what it is with this game and technique, a lot of it is muscle memory.
Yeah.
And so, they just... I agree with you, Nicole. I think that it would be better if you could focus on one, and coaches would love that, but they just don't have that luxury.
That's fair.
Yeah. I kind of think of it as kind of baseball. When you ask muscle memory, is because I've been right-handed my whole life, but when I got to college, they were training me to be on left side. It was the weirdest thing my first season, but once the muscle memory kicked in, if we were in a pinch, then I can go on the other side, slap it in the 3-6 hole, and then find a way to get on. And I think it's the same type of analogy. And I think of what Tyler Smith, right? What we were able to see. We know what we like to see him at, but in a pinch, when he had to go on the other side and make a difference, he was able to do so. And of course, you don't want to see him go into a position that he's not most, or what he was brought in here to do, I guess you could say. But I think it's important because there was a time, Christy, I think, was it last season, where it was like a crazy stat, and I think Clayton Adams was asked about it, about the health of the O-line. There was like a period where the starting 5 didn't get to actual play together for I don't know how many weeks into the season, and then we finally got to see what the actual starting 5 of the O-line health-wise, what they looked like. So
and like a Tyler Guyton, he has removed himself from just a few plays of a series, but hey, this will be the most work that he's gotten in a camp.
Yeah.
And the healthiest going into a season.
Yeah, I know he sometimes will not leave practice, but step off the field,
his elbow.
Check his elbow a little bit. So I want to keep monitoring that. But for the most part, we've never had we have not had issues with Tyler Guyton.
Yeah.
I know. That made me a little nervous when I saw that him getting looked at.
Somebody
for the first
somebody in the
practice.
chat said RB2. Oh wait, RB2. Mike in offensive tackle is still maybe a need.
RB2, running back. Okay,
so another running back, Mike linebacker.
So I bet the person on the chat probably wants what Bobby Wagner brought in. No, I mean really.
I don't know. They didn't say.
Didn't say. Okay, well, hit us back, and let us know. But I think that they want to see what they have. Same
fair.
thing
That's
like
true.
with Von Miller. Why are these veterans, that these free agents out there? Gosh, why is it so late in camp? Well, those guys, they don't particularly want to leave home and be away for an extra few weeks, but also teams are not in particular hurries all the time because they want the younger guys to get the reps. And in practice and in the preseason games, and the veterans aren't going to play in the preseason games anyway, generally. And by the way, if they do, we've seen some injuries with other teams. Heck, we've seen them just in the training camp practices. The Washington Commanders losing Laramie Tunsil, lost their, left tackle superstar, and gosh, hate to hear Tyler Biotish, our friend Tyler, who left Washington and is now with the Chargers and suffered an injury. So probably going to miss the season, and hate to hear that. But
I kind of miss Tyler too. I miss
no,
Tyler
he's
Biotish.
a good dude,
Good
really
dude.
good dude.
I thought he would have been a good player. Obviously, different staff that came in last year, but I feel like he would have fit nicely under Clayton Adams. But we gotta.
Well, I tell you, the one thing that
You're so petty.
well, what I was thinking during the practice, during the fights on Tuesday with the Saints, it's like, boy, what if Brock Hoffman were still a Dallas Cowboy? Oh my goodness!
Oh, that would have been
We could have sold the stream to practice for $80.
Oh, my God.
And it'd been like all these other MMA. Top selling ones.
Oh, that would have been great.
Yeah,
who's about
because if there was any feistiness, it was going to be Brock Hoffman.
Yeah.
So let me tell you, there would have been a lot more helmets flying a lot further if Brock were here.
Jesus,
We
yes.
love you, Brock.
I could still hear the whistles in my head. Like, it was nonstop. It was crazy things going on. We're going to take our first break here on Girls Talk, Boys Talk. When we come back, we're going to talk about quickly stuff that stood out from the coordinators and a little bit more about some of these guys on the bubble. That's coming up next.
Cowboys fans, in business, every dollar counts. And in a constantly changing tax landscape, success takes a partner with the right game plan to help you stay ahead. Ryan combines global tax expertise with purpose-built technology to bring clarity, control, and confidence to tax management. That means a smarter way to manage your tax function, improve performance, and keep your business moving forward. Learn more at Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Before there were cowboys, there were charros, skilled horsemen riding across Mexico with a spirit and a soundtrack all their own. Today, that spirit rides on with the Dallas Cowboys and the sounds of Game Day Mariachi. At Tito's Handmade Vodka, we're proud to celebrate the charros, the cowboys, and the mariachis who make Game Day unforgettable. Tito's Handmade Vodka, proud sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys and Game Day Mariachi. Salud to America's team. Distilled and bottled by Fifth Generation Incorporated, Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
How does the cheerleader's hair always look so perfect? We asked, and they shared one of their biggest beauty secrets. If you want hair like theirs and confidence to match, use Babyliss Pro styling tools. The Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders use Babyliss Pro curling irons to get those perfect game day curls. To get the hair you see on the cheerleaders, head to BabylissPro.com. Use the code Cowboys20 for 20% off Babyliss Pro tools, the official styling tools of the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Get the discount while it lasts. Offer may be withdrawn at any time at advertiser's discretion.
Heck of a win, fellas.
Coach, the Cowboys beat us by 30 points.
No, I'm talking about my dog. He started eating fresh food from the farmer's dog and has lost 7 pounds.
Your senior dog with joint issues?
That's right, Steven. The pre-portioned meals of real meat and veggies help keep him lean, active, and feeling like a puppy again.
That's incredible. But what about the game?
The Cowboys smoked us. Hit the field, run some sprints.
Get 50% off your first box of the official pet food of the Dallas Cowboys. Only at thefarmersdog.com/Cowboys.
Back to Girls Talk, Boys Talk.
The Farmer's Dog is the official pet food of the Dallas Cowboys. It's real, fresh food, portioned just for your dog and delivered to your door. Visit thefarmersdog.com/Cowboys.
Welcome back into Girls Talk, Boys Talk for our last episode here in Oxnard. And we are going to address a couple questions that we have from the chat. We're not ignoring you. But first, before that, we're going to talk about the coordinators we got to hear from yesterday. The good, easy transition here into some food Christy from Clayton Adams. He made us. You want to let the people know the joke?
Yeah, he wants the hot dogs. You know, he wants good, high quality hot dogs, and don't bring any mayonnaise or anything around this man because he's American. He says anyway. But I was kind of hoping he'd say more like margarita machine. But sure, I'm all for. I'm all for an industrial roller hot dog like from 7-Eleven. I totally agree with Clayton.
I'd prefer a skinny margarita right now.
A skinny
in
margarita?
my fitness bag.
A skinny margarita.
As long as margarita's in the title, I'm in.
Love that.
Oh my God.
Football wise.
I'm sorry. That was the only thing that that I took away from the press.
That's the biggest takeaway.
No.
From Clayton Adams, I guess we'll start with him. Nicole.
There's a lot of things. He touched on obviously him getting to be a play caller a little bit more. He's learned a little bit more about himself. Got an update on just Tyler Guyton. We were kind of briefly touching on him, and he had said that they've seen more consistency. He kind of held back at first, like, I don't want to speak on it too much because, right now it's going well. But he just said that he's seen, like, the growth and his understanding. And he was trying to find consistency, confidence in his play. He's starting to find that a little bit. I mean, and we haven't talked bad about Tyler Guyton, so that's obviously a good thing. And so,
it's good news when it comes to offensive line.
It's good news. He talked about Camden Brown, of course, 2 touchdowns in Seattle. He talked about how his route running, releases, body at the top of the route has been so impressive for him. You had a great question about Ryan Flanoy as well, asking about him and what he kind of grasped, so you can kind of touch on that. But, overall, good things from Clayton. Those were the kind of things that stood out. Tyler Guyton, running back. Oh, he did mention Malik Davis.
Yeah, which goes to the point on the chat about what we think about RB2 and is an upgrade needed there.
Yeah. I mean, I said it yesterday, and I said it with my chest on Talking Cowboys, that right now Malik Davis is your running back too. Like, I'm standing on that, and that's what it is. And that's not me rooting against anybody. I want to see everybody in that room succeed. But so far, from the consistency, availability, and play we've seen, Malik Davis is your running back too.
And now Jaden Blue missing practice time with a shoulder. So don't know yet about his status for this Saturday night in Arizona and beyond next week in terms of the final week of training camp practices there in Frisco when we get home. But, that doesn't bode well for Blue to miss any of the needed practice reps.
I think having those discussions and seeing the talks on social media about Malik Davis kind of emerging as that RB2 here at training camp, it's like it doesn't give Cowboys fans the relief, I guess, like, okay, we got an RB2 going forward. What is it about Malik Davis? I know he's an undrafted guy from 2022. He's been cut, multiple times, mostly because other guys have been draft picks and have other chances and things like that. But what is it about Malik Davis, do you think, Christy? I guess
it's his consistency. Clayton Adams noted his run instincts. He also noted, and I put a little star on this, he never pouts when it comes to reps. Yeah. Okay? So the limited amount that he gets, he makes the most of. That's my interpretation of that. And I'm sorry to be the broken record. When it comes to RB2, RB3, RB4, you have to play special teams. And Malik Davis is going to be one of your core special teams guys. No holds barred. Okay? Jaden Blue, not so much. Okay? At least not yet. At least not yet. So, there's no question. I think Bree, where it comes from in terms of RB2 and the questions that we get and maybe people not feeling as comfortable with Malik, they don't, just from the outside, because he's not a huge name and doesn't have some kind of flashy style, and he's not going to be the home run type hitter with the speed or taking a little swing pass or something or a wheel route, necessarily 80 yards for a touchdown. I'm not saying he can't, but because he's not flashy, I think that sometimes people mean that that's not as good.
That makes sense. Nicole mentioned it, Camden Brown. Christy, I was going to ask you, because I know you spent time with the offense a lot, and obviously he's the one that everyone has their eyes on because of the performance he put on in Seattle. And again, I was only on offense for a small time, but I did see a couple drops happen.
Yeah, he did. He was not as strong in the joint practice as he was in the game. So let's see what we get on Saturday night. But I will say that they were letting him be a little more physical in the joint, and I don't just mean the fights, but they were letting him be also a little more physical in coverage in terms of what you get in a normal training camp practice. So there's that as well. Now, that's not an excuse for him. That's the whole point, is you got to be able to make contested catches and things like that. But I expect him, or I'm hoping, at least for his sake, that he really builds on what he did in that opener in Seattle, because he has been arguably the biggest surprise of training camp.
Yeah, I mean, well said, Christy. Yeah, I think, and I expect him to do the same thing in Arizona. I just wonder how many snaps he'll probably play. Will it be like a full series? Will it be a half, or will he be the?
I think he'll get a lot of work.
A lot more work.
I don't know about the whole game, but and we're probably thinking that Milton's going to start.
I think Milton's
going to start as well, and so that'll be good for him to get work with him as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, he caught a touchdown pass from each of the guys. In the first half. That touchdown pass was that the 39-yarder was from Sam Howell, and then the 2-yard, the fade route on the end zone where he went up and made the one-handed catch was from Joe Milton. So, I think Cam will get work, because it's not like the old days where someone would kind of start to show out and then they'd try and hide him and slide him under the radar.
Yeah.
And I use Miles Austin as an example. Back then, and Chris can back me up on this, most people didn't know if his name was Miles Austin or Austin Miles. And he ends up making the 53-man roster. And it's like, what? I mean, he didn't do hardly anything in the preseason. Well, they really liked what they saw in practice at camp. He got just a little bit of work in that early in preseason, and after that they stashed him, because they didn't want to have to waive him and have a team claim him. And by the time camp and preseason were over, they decided to keep him on the 53-man and not even risk it. So yeah,
you gotta know his name.
Right.
You brought that up, and it's funny. It reminds me of another receiver, Ryan Flanoy, because I was talking to him and went back before our interview. I was listening to a couple, coaches talk about him, and everyone still calls him somehow Flournoy. It's pretty consistently. That's why I was like, literally, like, my story that I'm putting together starts with like a 3-minute montage of so many people saying his name incorrectly, but he's a good sport about it. And got to sit down and talk to him about just really how thankful and much gratitude he has for his story being so much different right now in this moment than it was this time last year. And he kind of joked, he's like, I remember just trying to be relevant and stay afloat when you're talking about wide receiver 5. And he just said, honestly, I feel like I just take my approach has been the right way. I feel like I do things the right way. Clayton Adams kind of attested to that as well yesterday. He says he kind of lit up talking about him, about the excitement he gets from a coach when a guy like Flanoy, who's working every day, and the light just comes on, the routes just start making sense, where you understand more comfortable where you're supposed to be. And to me, he stands out because he's in a room with a CeeDee Lamb and another guy who just happens to be George Pickens, and he's able to pretty much solidify that number 3 spot. I think it's a huge deal.
Absolutely. He also, with the number 19, he knew exactly about Miles Austin, and as a reason and an inspiration. So, just a steady guy, and he's the one. Remember when, getting cut last year, then come back practice squad, and then activated and 53-man and all that. What was he mainly being used as early? Gunner. Gunner on special teams, the guys outside that have to run down and fight through often double team blocks on the outside and get down there and make the tackle. So he earned his stripes doing that.
And it's a luxury to be talking about. We have a wide receiver 3 trio. Like, we don't want everybody to be having 1,000 yards, because that means some ain't working with the run game. But when you talk about Ryan Flanoy, I mean, y'all hit it on the nail. Like, he's been through so much in terms of, like, dating back to when he was little. Coach told him he would never be anything, right? And then it obviously went to the NFL. But when you talk about him, I think he brings you so much in terms of the physicality in that room. Like, he matches kind of the aura of that room as well. But, I mean, y'all hit it on the nail about Big Flo, not Lil Flo.
Big Flo.
Not Lil Flo no more.
Not Lil Flo. Let's talk about the wide receiver group. There's a couple, I'm going to give you guys a couple groups, and I just kind of want you to listen to the names and just tell me who you think kind of needs to show a little bit more, or if there's anybody that stands out that you have seen enough, that's fine too. But these are kind of guys I got that kind of been talked about a lot through camp, for good and for bad, I guess. Wide receivers, since we're transitioning, Camden Brown, Kavontae Turpin, Jonathan Mingo, MVS, Anthony Smith, Jordan Hudson.
Who do I need to see more
of?
MVS, Jordan Hudson, Anthony Smith, Jonathan Mingo. Yeah. Everybody in that room. Like, 1 second.
Perfect timing.
It's fine. Just give me a little second. All right, cool. Yeah, I mean, everybody in that room needs to show you something. Like, Jonathan Mingo had that nice, special teams play, but in terms of being a receiving threat, I need to see a little bit more. He stacked decent days at camp. So far, Shotty's mentioned, a little bit that he's liked what Jonathan Mingo's put together here at camp, but, like, I need to see that in real-time games, especially since you were traded for a 4th-round pick for it. Like, we didn't get anything from Mingo last year. Okay. That's cool.
The grass looks really good behind us.
That's so nice.
Really good.
Beautiful job up there. All right, cool.
See, you don't have to deal with this at the Ford Center when we get back next week and have the final 2 training camp practices. Yeah, maybe a vacuum cleaner, but not the.
Yeah. Well, that's it. That's all I have to say. Great.
I tell you, I am really expecting Anthony Smith to show out, because I've had several scouts and player personnel people at the beginning of camp tell me he's a guy to watch for.
Switching to running backs real quick, because we talked about that as well. Malik Davis, Jaden Blue, Phil Maffa, Israel Abanaconda?
Israel Abanaconda.
I almost had it. I'll get it soon.
You got it.
Before we leave, I'll have it for real. Who do you still need to see more out of?
Well, Malik Davis, I don't need to.
I could have took
nothing else from you.
Before that, I wrote this before our conversation, so yeah, I could have.
Jaden Blue, Phil Maffa. I think those two. Yeah, I'm going to go Jaden Blue, Phil Maffa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, easy. And the good news on Maffa is that he was able to participate in the joint practice on Tuesday. Remember, he left the game early with a chest injury, ended up being ribs. So, and we were told, so he was moving around well, in the locker room afterwards. You wouldn't have known that he had left the game. But, man, the ribs, I'm told that's one of the most painful things that you have to deal with. But he's able to gut through it and take part on Tuesday.
I didn't hear nothing you just finished saying.
I did, because I'm right here doing this. That's the only reason.
I'm so sorry.
And I feel like every time I ask a question, they hit it on the nose. Well, it's quiet now, and then as soon as we start talking. Goodness. Okay, on the other side of the ball, let's go outside linebackers real quick. Maris Leofow, Sam Williams, James Houston.
I'm going to go Maris. Just because, one, you're now in a deep, so to speak, room. Okay, this is good.
There it is.
Let's go to break. Just wait.
All right, let's take a timeout. We're gonna take our second break. Girls talk, boys talk, and hopefully the grass is cut when we come back. Stick with us.
Heck of a win, fellas.
Coach, the Cowboys beat us by 30 points.
No, I'm talking about my dog. He started eating fresh food from the farmer's dog and has lost 7 pounds.
Your senior dog with joint issues?
That's right, Steven. The pre-portioned meals of real meat and veggies help keep him lean, active, and feeling like a puppy again.
That's incredible. But what about the game?
The Cowboys smoked us. Hit the field, run some sprints.
Get 50% off your first box of the official pet food of the Dallas Cowboys. Only at thefarmersdog.com/Cowboys.
Before there were Cowboys, there were charros, Skilled horsemen riding across Mexico with a spirit and a soundtrack all their own. Today, that spirit rides on with the Dallas Cowboys and the sounds of Game Day Mariachi. At Tito's Handmade Vodka, we're proud to celebrate the Charros, the Cowboys, and the Mariachis who make game day unforgettable. Tito's Handmade Vodka, proud sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys and Game Day Mariachi. Salud to America's team. Distilled and bottled by Fifth Generation Incorporated, Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
How does the cheerleader's hair always look so perfect? We asked, and they shared one of their biggest beauty secrets. If you want hair like theirs and confidence to match, use Babyliss Pro styling tools. The Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders use Babyliss Pro curling irons to get those perfect game day curls. To get the hair you see on the cheerleaders, head to BabylissPro.com. Use the code Cowboys20 for 20% off Babyliss Pro tools, the official styling tools of the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Get the discount while it lasts. Offer may be withdrawn at any time at advertiser's discretion.
All right, Cowboys fans, this one's for us. If the men in your life bleed blue and silver like we do, then look no further than Gillette Labs. The Gillette Labs official Dallas Cowboys licensed razor, now available as a retro SKU, combines his Cowboys pride with Gillette's best shave. And with 50% longer lasting blades, it's easy to shave like a legend and look like a pro. A win-win situation for all of us. Get it while you can at Gillette.com/NFL. Gillette's best shave is also available as heated. 50% longer lasting blades per cartridge versus Fusion.
Back to Girls Talk, Boys Talk.
NFL Plus is here, which means no matter where you are, this is how you football. Get live, local, and primetime regular season and postseason games on your phone or tablet, plus game replays and more. And right now, you can get NFL Plus Annual for just $39.99 or NFL Plus Premium Annual for $79.99. That's 20% off for a limited time. Go to plus.nfl.com and start your free trial of NFL Plus today. Offer ends September 21st.
Woo! Welcome back into Girls Talk, Boys Talk, where we are going to see if we can battle the noise that's happening behind us. What you might not have heard is we were breaking down the outside linebackers a little bit on who we needed to see more of. So before this man working becomes back, I had said James Houston, Maris Leofeld, Sam Williams, and I think what I could hear, you said Maris.
Yeah, I definitely said Maris. And it's only because you aren't, like I said before, in a deep room, and you brought in, Von Miller. So now this room just got deeper. But when you talk about Maris, I mean, I've said this plenty of times before, but he's had to kind of work under or learn from 3 different now defensive coordinators since he was brought in. And I asked Christian Parker yesterday about Maris, how is his pass rush skills kind of coming along, because that was something that he had told me this offseason he had never experienced or never really learned how to do. And so CP had said, I'm trying to find it. I'm sorry, y'all. Here we go. The length is there. He's taking great strides with his hands and power in figuring out blocks. His coverage, of course, is second nature because he has done a lot of coverage things, and CP is asking their outside linebackers to drop in coverage a little bit more. But he said, figuring out their blocking and blocking schemes and tackle sets has been a challenge, but he's made some great strides there. So, I mean, it's going to take a little bit more time, but learning from a guy like Von Miller, I saw somebody post a clip from joint practice where Von Miller was kind of coaching him up a little bit. So that was pretty cool to see. But, yeah, I think Maris has to show a little bit more because he's at a disadvantage in terms of, his size a little bit. Also, the fact that now you have guys that have experience doing what Christian Parker is asking them to do. And so he has a little bit of a disadvantage there.
Yeah. Agreed. I would say James Houston had one of the best games in the preseason game, but Sam Williams is the one. He's actually, I think, had 4 defensive coordinators in his time with the Cowboys. So, and he looked less natural. There was a play in the game on Saturday night where he basically dropped back and was in zone, and I don't know, just looked less. I mean, he's such a great athlete and a very fluid athlete and very powerful, more powerful than Leofeld. But, of course, he was a defensive end and not a side-to-side linebacker. But, I think that it's a interesting and challenging transition for Sam. And I just think he really needs to show out these next couple weeks, and he's going to get that opportunity to do so, at least in the early part of the games.
That makes sense. Let's go inside linebacker. Curtis Robinson.
You said inside linebacker?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I forgot to screw him. Sorry.
We're going to play telephone. Inside?
Inside.
Okay.
Got it. Curtis Robinson, Jamar James, Jay-Sean Barham, Justin Barron. Who do you need to see?
I mean, I think the obvious for me is Jay-Sean Barham, only because we haven't seen him in live game action. We've seen him in practice. I believe he's going to be an amazing inside linebacker for this defense, but like I need to see that in like live game action, and hopefully we get a chance to see it in Arizona. I know he was able to participate in team drills in the joint practice, so it'll be interesting to see like how they kind of use him. Do they keep him to a minimum in terms of snaps? But I do need to see like live game stuff from Jay-Sean.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
Man,
yeah,
what?
I want to see that attitude, how it manifests itself out on the field. I think of the list that you gave, Bree, I think that Justin Barron is the one that needs to show he's the one who may be the odd man out just in terms of numbers at that position and how many you can keep. And he's had a good camp and building on that strong performance he had in the joint practice the previous week against the Rams, but that's a very, very crowded room.
Yeah.
And spent most of last season on the practice squad, got to play in the final 2 games of the regular season. But yeah, he has the toughest road to hoe in terms of trying to crack. I just don't think there are going to be enough spots. But I mean, still a great practice squad guy that you could,
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of, this is like the point of training camp where there's a lot of predictions on who's going to be making, the final 53, who's still on the bubble. For you guys, we do have a preseason game happening this weekend going to Arizona. What position group or I guess who are you hoping to see most on the field? If you had to guess who we're going to see, like who's someone or position group, it doesn't have to be a person or group.
I think for me it's probably running back. We can't really gauge Jaden and Phil from that first half because the offensive line play wasn't there. So I'd say like offensive line, running back, how they're able to run the ball efficiently. On the defensive side, do I have to choose a player?
Position.
I don't know. I think Mickey. I don't know. I think I like the way the inside linebackers played. It took time for the defensive line to kind of settle in. Yeah. I'm going to go interior defensive line.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll go there.
Just because you hit that, I'll go on the other side. I'll go and say defensive back in terms of Reddy Stewart continuing strong campaign. He played the preseason game at safety instead of corner because he played mostly in the slot last year. But also Kalen Carson, Josh Butler, these kinds of guys. Kalen had the 3 penalties in last week's opener in Seattle. He was part of the fisticuffs, a lot of it on Tuesday, and he needs to rebound.
I was very disappointed there.
In terms of the game or just the...
Because I'd be rooting for Kalen. I'd really be rooting for him.
And we like Kalen, and he had been having a good...
He was having a great camp.
Yeah, first couple weeks are super strong.
But then, like, the Seattle penalties, he kind of had some bounce-back plays in there, but I don't think it was enough. And then to go out there and be one involved in these fights, I was like, come on, man. Like,
the clip and the close-up is crazy.
Bro.
Crazy.
It's the close-up. You're caught in 4K?
Yeah. I can't imagine what watching practice was for that, for them. Like, woo, yeah. Last thing I want to do before we head out is I wrote down, if you guys remember our very first episode, some of our picks. We talked about stock down, who need to see more from, and we gave out a couple awards. So, stock down, Nicole, you had MBS. Do you still feel the same 2 weeks later?
I do. I 100% do. I have not seen enough from him.
From MBS.
That's convincing me right now.
I think I think that can be agreed upon. Christy, I think you had 2. I think you said, and you didn't say, you know, like you
not
didn't,
down, just in terms of
to
they
clarify,
they weren't.
You just wanted to see
absolutely
more.
Want to see James Houston and Leah Fowl really step up, and Houston certainly did in the preseason game. They've just been kind of flying under the radar, and no one's really talking about it. Had not at that point, but now I would say that Kalen Carson is the one that needs to. These last 2 games could be really important for him.
We had most improved player of camp, if you will. You guys both went with the Rebel. You guys still feel the same, or
absolutely.
Anyone?
Yeah, 100% agree. He's done nothing but stack days. I think he only played 6-7 snaps against Seattle, and rightfully so. You know, so
6, 7, 6 or 7.
You know, something like
7.
that. He wasn't on the field long.
We had stock up. I don't know who said who, but I think because it was kind of mutual. We had Kobe Durant with the stock up, Revel, which makes sense, is most improved, and then we had Jaden Blue in that list as well.
In stock up?
Yeah, I think it was because of maturity thing. I think that's what someone had brought up because coaches were. That's why I was like, okay, I got it on the list, but Chrissy says, okay, yeah.
I think he needs to be in a category of.
I don't have that category.
I don't have that category. Okay,
we're not going to do that one.
Fine. Next time, let me know a new category.
I think it needs to be in the category of manifesting itself on the field.
There we go.
That's one. All right. Camp MVP. This is the big one.
Oh,
we had
easy.
Unanimously.
Easy.
Does it stay the same? Caleb Downs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And Pickens on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, it's just so dynamic.
Yep.
Caleb and Pickens. Nicole, I don't like bad news.
Oh, well, this has been great. This is my last episode on Girls Talk, Boys Talk, y'all. I'm going to miss y'all.
Why are you leaving?
When?
Because I'll be on Talking Cowboys.
Aww. She's graduated.
We'll see her in transition.
Yeah.
For the next pod. I hate that for us. Well,
I'm going to miss y'all.
It just feels like we got to do one last wake up.
Oh, my God.
Before we end the show.
Wake up!
I'm going to record that and put on my phone and just play it when we need it because you know how it is.
Still have it for your that's your new alarm on your phone.
We love you. You're not going too far, but we're going to
not.
miss you on the show 110%. But Chrissy Scales will still be holding it down. Aisha Morrison will be back when we head back to North Texas. But that's going to do it for our final episode here in Oxnard. For Brianna Aldridge, Chrissy Scales, Nicole Hutchinson. That's a wrap.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!